Welcome to today's deep dive. I am super excited because today we are unpacking a really step-by-step guide on how to turn your Solana domain from just a simple wallet pointer into a fully functional decentralized website.
Yeah, and I think a lot of you listening probably have a .sol domain sitting around, right? And you might not realize it's basically vacant digital real estate just waiting to be developed.
Exactly. And I know some of the technical jargon we're going to cover today, like IPFS and CIDs, it might sound a little intimidating at first, but the core process is actually surprisingly simple once you break it down.
Oh, absolutely. It's really just a few straightforward steps once you understand the underlying logic of it all.
Right. And before we get into the exact mechanics of how you do this, I need to mention this. Brought to you by Negotiate.name. The simple way to bid on over 3,000 Solana domains, with new names added daily, and user listings available to browse too. Make unlimited offers on premium.sol names without locking up your Solana. See what you can negotiate, and discover names before the rest of the market does. And if you own premium Solana domains, you can submit your names for sale while keeping your contact information private. Negotiate.name helps broker the conversation so buyers are not sending offers into the void and sellers are not missing serious inquiries that sit unseen for months.
That is actually a great resource, especially if you're trying to grab a specific identity or brand name before you start building.
For sure.
Oh.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Because now that we know where to buy a domain, how does hosting actually work on Solana compared to, the traditional web hosting we're all used to?
Well, the mindset shift is huge here. Because what's fascinating here is that with a traditional .com, you don't really own anything. You buy a domain, you log into a registrar, you mess with DNS records, and then you point it to some massive corporate hosting company.
Right, like EWS or GoDaddy or whatever.
Exactly. But with a Solana domain, you build the site locally, you upload it to a decentralized storage network, and then you tie it to the cryptographic records via your wallet.
Okay, so the analogy I like to use for this, it's like traditional hosting is basically renting an apartment.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Like the landlord, the registrar, or the hosting company, they hold the master keys. They can kick you out or change the locks or erase your address entirely if they don't like what you're doing.
Which happens all the time, by the way.
Exactly. But Solana hosting is like pitching this highly advanced tent on a digital plot of land that you own outright.
Right. And what's really crucial for people to grasp is that your wallet, whether you use Phantom or Solflare or Backpack, it is not just a standard account with a password. It is the literal cryptographic key to that property.
So if you lose it, you're out.
Yeah, if you lose your wallet or your seed phrase, you completely lose the ability to update that domain, period. There's no customer service desk to call to get it back.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us to the groundwork. Before we pitch our high-tech tent, we obviously need to secure the land.
Step one is always verification. You have to open your wallet and actually verify the domain ownership is sitting right there inside a wallet you control.
Treat the wallet like physical property, basically.
Exactly. Don't go connecting it to random sketchy sites. Keep it clean. So once the land is secured, then you decide what kind of tent you're going to build. And the guide we're looking at is very specific about this. It recommends building a simple, static website.
Okay, wait. I have to pause here and ask a pointed question about this.
Sure, go for it.
A static website, like just static files, HTML, CSS, a little JavaScript, maybe some images, no database, no login systems.
Nope, none of that. Just a folder of files anchored by an index.html file.
I mean, isn't that a bit, 1999? Like, why are we limiting ourselves so much right out of the gate? It feels like a step backward.
I totally get that reaction. A lot of developers feel that way at first. But you have to look at the best use cases for a decentralized domain right now. You're usually building a personal identity page or maybe a domain for sale page, a meme coin landing page, or an AI agent profile.
So like a digital business card almost.
Exactly. And for those use cases, a static site is actually a massive advantage. It is blazingly fast because there's no back-end database querying going on. And more importantly, it is incredibly secure.
Because there's no database to hack into, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
There are no SQL injections to worry about. It's exactly what is needed for a Web3 landing page. The goal here isn't to build, the next giant web app right on the domain. The goal is just to make the domain immediately useful to whoever visits it.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Keep it simple, keep it secure. So, we have our folder of static files sitting on our computer desktop. But since we don't have a traditional web host, where do these files actually go?
So this is where we introduce the decentralized cloud. The source highlights a few options, things like Arweave or Shadow Drive, but the big one, the standard, is IPFS.
The Interplanetary File System.
Right, which sounds like something out of Star Trek, but it's very real. You use a service, maybe for Everland, Panada, or Fleek, to upload your folder to the IPFS network. And what IPFS does is it spits out a CID.
A CID. Wait, let's break that down for everyone.
Yeah, it stands for Content Identifier.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me, because from what I understand, a CID isn't pointing to a server location, right? It's literally like a digital fingerprint of the folder itself.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, traditional URLs point to where a file lives. If a server goes down, the link breaks. But IPFS points to what the file actually is. Because it's a cryptographic fingerprint, the network just asks, hey, who has this exact fingerprint? And any node can serve it.
So, and this is wild. If I change one typo in my HTML, does the CID change?
The entire CID changes, yes, because the actual data inside the file changed, so the resulting hash, the fingerprint, is entirely new.
Oh, wow. So you aren't pointing to a server that can quietly alter files without anyone knowing.
Precisely. You are pointing to a highly specific, totally immutable snapshot of your content. Nobody can secretly swap out an image or change your text.
That's incredible for censorship resistance.
Yeah.
But it also means you really need to test your IPFS gateway link before you update any Solana records, right?
Oh, absolutely. That is a crucial step. You have to pull up the preview link provided by Panada or Fleek, test it on desktop, test it on mobile, click every single button. Because once you tie it to the blockchain, that is the exact version the world is going to see.
Right, so let's talk about tying the knot. We've got our domain on the blockchain, and we have our files scattered across IPFS with our unique CID fingerprint. How do we make them actually talk to each other so someone can visit the site?
This is where you go to your Solana domain manager. So usually you'd go to a site like the Solana name service.
And you connect your wallet there.
Yep. You connect your wallet, which proves you're the owner. You find the IPFS record field for your specific domain, and you just paste that exact CID string right in there.
Just paste it and hit save.
Basically. But when you hit save, your wallet will pop up asking you to approve a transaction. You are mathematically signing a ledger update that says, route my domain to this new IPFS fingerprint.
Okay, simple enough. But here's the thing I keep getting stuck on, and I think a lot of people get confused by this.
What's that?
Gateways. So the guide says people will use a gateway, like your name.sol.place, to visit the site. And my question is, so what does this all mean for the user experience? If I have to use a gateway link for regular browsers like Chrome, am I really even using my domain?
That is such a common question. And the answer is yes, you absolutely are. The Solana domain is the true permanent anchor on the blockchain.
Okay, but then why do I need the .place part?
Because older traditional Web 2 browsers like Chrome or Safari, they literally do not speak the language of the blockchain. They don't know how to look up a Solana record.
Oh, I see. They only know how to look up normal.com IP addresses.
Right. So the gateway is simply a necessary translator. It sits in the middle, reads the modern Web3 decentralized records from your Solana domain, and translates them into a format that a legacy browser can display.
Like a real-time Rosetta Stone.
That's a perfect way to describe it. But again, the source instructs you to rigorously test that gateway link. You check it across desktop, check it on your phone, test all the call to action buttons, make sure the translation didn't break your layout.
Got it. Okay, so now the site is live. We've tested the gateway. Everything works. But what happens tomorrow? Like, what if I decide I want to change my headline or update a broken link?
Well, welcome to the life cycle of decentralized hosting. It is a bit different. Remember what we said about the CID fingerprint changing if you alter even one character?
Right, because it's an immutable snapshot.
Exactly. So the update loop looks like this. First, you edit the HTML files locally on your computer. Then you upload that brand new folder to IPFS.
Which gives you a completely new CID.
Right. Then you take that new CID, go back to the Solana domain manager, replace the old CID in your records, and approve a brand new wallet transaction to update the blockchain.
Man, that is a whole process. It really forces you to be highly intentional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Uploading isn't just a quick live edit on a server anymore. It's like publishing a brand new edition of a book.
That is exactly what it is. And that's why the guide lists a few common pitfalls people run into.
Like what?
Like forgetting to name their main file index.html, or uploading a broken version because they didn't test it locally first,
Hmm.
or honestly just overcomplicating the site's design.
Right, which leads to more bugs and more tedious updates.
Yeah. Exactly, which is why the ideal structure is so simple. Your name, a punchy headline, a short description, maybe some social links, and a very clear call to action like a make an offer button.
Yeah, you don't need a sprawling 50-page website for that.
No, you really don't. And yes, it takes a few more intentional steps to update. But the reward is that you are turning a dormant, useless wallet name into a true public destination that nobody can censor or take away from you.
I love that. So just to summarize the core loop for everyone listening today, it's essentially build your simple files, upload to IPFS,
Mm-hmm.
copy that unique CID fingerprint, update your Solana record with it, and then test your gateway link.
That's the whole workflow. Your domain can be so much more than just a name you hold. It really is a destination.
It's digital real estate.
Yeah.
But, talking about this immutability aspect, it does bring up something kind of wild.
Oh, yeah. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, if our digital identities and our websites are all moving toward these decentralized, immutable storage systems where a specific version of a file is permanently anchored by a fingerprint across thousands of nodes,
Right.
what does that mean for the future of, deleting our past mistakes online?
Oh, wow. That is a deep rabbit hole.
Right. Because if you publish something embarrassing to the decentralized web and that exact CID is recorded, is it truly there forever? In a Web3 world, does the concept of a digital erasure even exist anymore?
That is a fascinating and kind of terrifying question. If you put it out there, you can point your domain away from it, but the file itself?
Yep.
Yeah, it might just outlive us all.
Something for all of you listening to mull over tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Go check your wallets, find those dormant domains, and try building your first decentralized page. We'll catch you on the next one.